Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you're enjoying your Friday or the weekend. So this week we've learned about diffusion, right? Um, Supposed to have a quiz today. We're going to park that. And what we're going to do is we're going to read this article. I'm going to read it to you, and there's going to be some questions to answer associated with this article. This is not the quiz. This is just another article about diffusion. Um, so we focus pretty much this week on learning some African American history, Black History Month. The quiz will have an article about an era in Black history and U.S. history about Reconstruction. The quiz is also going to have some map reading stuff in it. That'll be on Monday. For today, we're going to get into some technology and how that has changed and diffused. And we're going to learn about that by reading this particular article that I have found, and you'll get a PDF version later today. So let's get into it. The title of the article. Oh, by the way, this is one of those articles where I'm like, okay, do answer the questions on my stuff, but by all means, complete a nonfiction form over this. Either way, it's about technological change in human history. So this article is about how technology has diffused and changed how we've lived. So here we go. The author is Stephen Nash, by the way. Here is the original article. He's part of an anthropology or study of human history group called Sapiens. So let's get into it. On June 29th, 2007, the world changed forever. On that day, the first iPhone was sold. Since then, billions of smartphones have been sold around the world. Experts at the Pew Research Center report that 77% of all Americans now own a smartphone. This has given billions of people the ability to be part of an exciting world of technology. The human adventure with digital technology began 25 years ago. It was then that the World Wide Web was born. Every 2 years since then, the power of computer technology has doubled. We now have amazing technology like virtual reality and social media. These things make the digital world more interesting. The very fast speed of the changes in technology is unusual when we think about the long history of humans on Earth. The way we think of time today is also very different to how it has been for most of our history. In this article, we will compare changes in technology throughout human history. To help us compare long periods of time more easily, we will take all of human history and bring it down to the length of just 1 year. This will help us to get a much better understanding of these periods of time. Most experts believe humans have been on Earth for around 200,000 years. That is a very long time. It is hard for us to imagine such a long time period, but anyone can imagine 1 year. So let's bring down or condense that whole 200,000 years of human history into a single year. We have this graphic here. I love visual representations of time like this. You're going to see this again in the Cosmos episode next week. So just real quick, January 1st, Homo sapiens come into existence. That's us. And we have the month of February, March, April, May, June. Oh, look, July 1st, humans migrate out of Africa for the first time in the theoretical concept of July 1st. And then it's August, September, October. Somewhere in the middle of October, humans enter Europe, month of November. By December 10th, in our year of human history, agriculture develops, so the concept of farming. And then on December 31st in the early afternoon, the Industrial Revolution begins. And then at 11:31 p.m. in our theoretical year of human history, the iPhone emerges. So again, you'll see a nicer version of this graphic on the quiz for today. But that's just a little breakdown of it. In our 1 year of human history, midnight on the 1st of January would be when the first humans evolved. This is the start of our year. Humans moved or migrated out of Africa 100,000 years ago. Relocation diffusion. This was after living in Africa for about 100,000 years, so about half of human history. That would be the 1st of July on our 1 year timeline. That means that for half of our history, humans lived in or around Africa. About 40,000 years ago, humans moved into Europe on our 1 year timeline. That happens on October 20th. We're already in the fall of our year, and humans haven't even started to read or write. About 12,000 years ago, people in the Middle East began to farm the land. This would be on December 10th at 2:24 a.m. on our calendar. The year is almost over, and humans just barely started to construct buildings and live in cities. The Industrial Revolution was a period from the late 1700s to the early 1900s when a lot of new ideas, inventions, and ways of working made great changes to the way people lived. The use of machines and engines to move around and do work have shaped our modern world. The Industrial Revolution may seem like a long time ago, but our timeline, it happens at around 2 p.m. on New Year's Eve. That means the whole year is very nearly over, but only now are we getting technology that is anywhere near close to what we have today. Really, though, the technology of the Industrial Revolution is very different compared to what we have today. There was no plastic, no cars, no TVs, and definitely no smartphones. But the Industrial Revolution started a trend of rapid technological change. Since 2 p.m. on New Year's Eve, we've gone from grimy old factories to today's amazing technology. The iPhone shows up at 11:31 p.m. on New Year's Eve, which is the last day of the year. Today, satellites spin around the Earth and constantly send us information. Smartphones in our pockets give us immediate access to more information than any library could hold and to almost any person in the world. Soon, cars will be driving around that do not even need a human driver. All of this change happened in the last couple of hours of our year-long timeline of human history. So, what do we learn from this timeline? We find that the fast changes in technology we are used to have only been happening for a tiny part of our history. This rapid change is not normal, and it has changed the way we think about time. People today never seem to have enough time. The funny thing is that technology was meant to give us more time. This was meant to help us be more relaxed. But most people are always rushing around to get from one thing to the next. And they are always worried about being on time and not having enough time. Just imagine what it was like to travel 500 miles only 100 years ago. It would have taken weeks or even months. And it would have been quite dangerous. Now we can fly somewhere 500 miles away in an hour. This should have given us more time to have fun, but it hasn't. Today we think of time going in one direction. It goes from the past to the present and then to the future, but it hasn't always been that way. For most of our history, humans thought about time in cycles that matched the seasons. Instead of time being shown as a line moving forward, time was thought of in a circular way. When things were not changing so quickly, time followed the rhythms of the season. Today, it looks like many people are addicted to always getting the latest and best technology. But our look at human history, by condensing it into a 1 year timeline, shows that we have done okay without the newest and best for most of our time on Earth. Maybe we can learn from the past and stop being ruled by time. If we started to go back to the seasonal cycles of time, we might be able to relax more and be happier. When we are on holiday or vacation, we usually stop following the clock. We sleep when we are tired and get up when we are feeling rested. If we start doing this instead of having time rule our lives, we will be able to enjoy our lives more. We will have the time to notice a beautiful flower or watch a puppy playing with its tail. This will make us happier and stop us from always being stressed out. When the next new gadget comes out, we can remember that it is not normal for your humans to experience so much change so quickly. We probably don't need to stand in line to be the first one to try the gadget. We have seen that for nearly all of our history, humans have been able to live their lives without being ruled by time. They thought of time in cycles of seasons, such as winter and autumn. This meant that they didn't get stressed out by about every minute of their lives. If we can go back to this way to count time, we may be more better off. Speaking of which, it's time to take a nap. It's an interesting article about time and how we consider time. And because we're on diffusion, this is an ultimate theme of this class, is like how time has changed us, it's moved us. We'll study the agricultural revolution, we'll study the industrial revolution. And as these changes occur, human beings interact with their environment where, there's this physical world around us. We might have this awesome iPhone, but we have to manipulate our environment to get it, and we'll study that. So hopefully you enjoyed this article and answer the questions based on it on Canvas. And like I said, there is a quiz, quest, whatever, on Monday if we're there. If not, we'll start digging into population and we'll get quizzed out on diffusion eventually. But hopefully you enjoy the article, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye-bye.